A red car stops in front of a bank and three robbers named Buddy, Darling, and Griff get out and quickly run into the bank. The driver of the car is a young man called Baby who stays behind in the car while the others rob the bank. Baby loves music a lot and enjoys listening to the song Bell Bottoms while waiting for the others to finish their job. After a short while, the robbers come back to the car and Baby starts driving. He plays loud music in his headphones while he drives them away. The police are chasing them from all sides, but Baby is really good at driving. He expertly maneuvers the car around obstacles to try and lose the police. The chase continues and even a police helicopter joins in. Eventually, Baby catches up with two red cars. The robbers and Baby drive under a bridge and Baby does a clever trick by switching the car they're in with another one, fooling the police. They escape and Baby drives them to a parking lot where he switches cars again and gets away. Later, Baby buys coffee for everyone while listening to Harlem Shuffle. He brings the coffee to a building where they meet their boss, Doc. Doc is a smart man and he gives them their share of the stolen money. Griff, one of the robbers, asks Doc why Baby always listens to music. Griff tries to scare Baby, but Baby doesn't let it bother him. They all take their share of the money and leave. Doc takes most of Baby's money to pay off a debt, but he still gives him $10,000, gloves, and a new phone. He tells Baby he'll call him again for another job. Baby goes home to his foster dad, Joseph, and hides his money under the floorboards. Joseph advises Baby to avoid any shady jobs because it's not his money. Later, Baby takes the recordings of his meeting with Doc and the other robbers and remixes them into a song. He has a cassette tape with all the songs he's made, including one labeled Mom. Whenever Baby listens to the tape labeled Mom, he thinks of his happy memories with her. His parents used to fight a lot and they died in a car accident while fighting. One day, Baby goes to a diner and sees a pretty waitress named Deborah. She walks by him singing a song, and Baby records her humming with his recorder. Deborah comes back to take his order and sees him recording. They talk and Baby asks her what song she was singing. Later, he goes to a music store and finds the same song. One day, Doc calls Baby and offers him a new job. Baby meets his boss, who introduces him to his new team, Eddie No Nose, JD, and Bats. The new team also wonders why Baby is always listening to music. Doc explains that Baby had an accident when he was a kid that left him with tinnitus, so he uses music to block out the ringing in his ears. This is Baby's last job for Doc to pay off his debt. Doc explains the plan to everyone while Baby listens to a new song. Bats thinks Baby isn't paying attention to the plan, but Doc asks Baby some detailed questions, and he answers them all perfectly. The next day, the group arrives at the place where the armored van is located. Baby stays in the car, listening to a song while the others go to rob it. Bats kills the van guard and they all get back to the car. Baby tries to drive away, but a Marine starts following them in his van. Bats tries to shoot the Marine, but Baby tries to avoid him. At one point, Bats is about to shoot the Marine, but Baby stops him from doing so. Baby drives down the highway, losing the chasing Marine. The group gets stuck in traffic, so they leave the car and steal another one from a woman who has a baby. JD says he lost his gun, but they can't go back to find it. Baby takes them to a parking lot, and they change cars again. Bats is angry because he missed the chance to shoot the Marine. Baby says he didn't do it on purpose, but Bats doesn't believe him. When they return to Doc, Baby is surprised to see only Bats and Eddie. Doc gives Baby his share of the money and tells him to dispose of JD's dead body, which is in the car's trunk. The police wanted JD because of his gun, so they had to get rid of him. To avoid police detection, Baby takes the car to the junkyard and wrecks it, but then has flashbacks to his childhood. Baby goes to the usual diner where Deborah works. They chat about songs, and when Deborah learns his name, she is surprised it's actually Baby. Later they leave the diner and go to a laundromat where they talk more about themselves. He tells her about his hearing problems after the accident that took his parents' lives. Baby takes Joseph's advice and finds a normal job. He gets hired as a pizza delivery boy and starts spending more time with Deborah. One night, Baby and Deborah go to a restaurant, and Baby sees Doc there. Doc talks to him and offers him a job for his other robberies. Doc threatens Baby by saying he will hurt Deborah and Joseph if he refuses. The next day, Doc takes Baby to a post office to plan their next robbery. Doc tells Baby to check out the inside of the post office and take his grandson Sam with him, so they don't look suspicious. Baby and Sam go inside and look for cameras, windows, and open clerks. Sam surprisingly helps by listing the number of cameras, windows, and employees in the office. They talk to a friendly cashier and then go back to the car to tell Doc the details. Later, Baby meets Deborah at the dinner and asks her to run away with him. Then, he meets with Doc to plan another robbery, but there he sees Buddy, Darling, and Bats. Doc usually does not use the same crew for more than one heist, but he is making an exception. Doc explains their plan to rob a post office and tells the gang to buy new weapons from an arms dealer called the Butcher. On their way to meet the dealer, Bats asks Baby to stop at a store. There, Darling confides in her boyfriend that Bats has been giving her weird looks and making her feel uneasy. Buddy asks if she wants him to kill Bats, but Darling tells him to wait until after the robbery. Later, the gang arrives at a warehouse to meet the Butcher who has weapons. Suddenly, Bats shoots the Butcher, and a gunfight begins. Darling gets shot in the arm, and Bats goes wild. They flee the warehouse, and Bats throws a grenade inside a car, causing an explosion. Bats says they killed cops and did the right thing. On the way back, Bats asks Baby to stop at the diner. Baby does not want to stop at the diner since he knows Deborah is still working. However, Bats makes him stop. When they get inside, Deborah sees Baby and tries to act like she does not know him. Bats does not want to pay $20 for their meal, so he pulls out a gun. Baby stops him and writes a note to Deborah before leaving. The gang go back to Doc, but he says the mission had failed. Bats says they are attacked by cops and had to defend themselves, but Baby does not trust him. Buddy and Darling support Bats' story. Doc knows the cops will come after them in 24 hours, so he decides to call off the robbery. But Buddy, Darling, and Bats want to go ahead with it anyway. Doc asks Baby what he thinks, and he says they should wait until morning. Later that night, Baby tries to sneak out to meet Deborah but gets stopped by Buddy and Bats. They become suspicious of him and knock him out with a tape recorder. When he wakes up, he's with Doc, and they listen to the tapes. Meanwhile, Deborah is waiting for Baby at the diner. The next morning, they head to the place where they plan to rob. Buddy needs to take Darling with him and pretend to be a hostage while Bats sneaks into the post office. Baby stays in the car and sees the cashier he met before. He tells her not to go inside, and she turns back with the guard. The gang comes back, and Bats shoots the guard. Baby tries to escape, but Bats stops him with a gun. Angry, Baby drives into a truck, and Bats dies. The police arrive, and the group tries to escape. Buddy and Darling shoot some cops, but others chase Baby. He runs into a mall to change his appearance, but the police find him and continue to chase him. He leaves the mall and steals a car to catch up with Buddy and Darling. A fight with the cops breaks out, and Darling gets killed, but Baby manages to get away and steals an old woman's car. He stops to return the old lady's purse and plays a song on the radio. When he gets back to his apartment, he finds Joseph lying on the floor, so he calls Deborah at the diner. Unfortunately, her boss answers and tells him to come there. Baby takes all his money from the floorboards and brings Joseph to a nursing home. He apologizes to Joseph for letting him down and leaves while the police are still searching for him. Baby goes to the diner to pick up Deborah but finds Buddy waiting for him. Buddy blames Baby for Darling's death and threatens to kill Deborah. At one point, a cop enters the diner and goes to the bathroom. Buddy is talking to another waitress and doesn't notice. Suddenly, Baby takes Buddy's gun and shoots the. When another cop comes to help, Buddy shoots him too. Baby calls Doc from a payphone, but Doc doesn't want to talk to him. Baby and Deborah steal a car from two hippies and go to Doc's house. Baby asks for the tapes and offers to return the stolen money. Doc refuses, but eventually gives in after seeing Deborah. He also gives them money to leave the country. But when they leave the elevator, the Butcher's men are waiting for them. Doc shoots them, but he's also shot. Then Buddy shows up in a police car and runs over Doc. Later, Buddy chases after Baby and Deborah. Baby shoots at Buddy and jumps over his car. Then, he pushes Buddy's car over a railing, causing it to fall. But Buddy isn't dead yet and shoots near Baby's ear to make him deaf. Deborah hits Buddy to distract him, and Baby shoots him in the leg. Buddy falls and dies. The next day, Baby and Deborah run into a police blockade on a bridge. Baby stops the car and turns himself in, kissing Deborah goodbye. He goes to trial for the robberies, but people who he didn't harm testify in his defense. The judge gives him 25 years in prison but can parole him in 5 years. While in prison, Baby gets letters from Deborah about their future plans. After 5 years, Baby gets out of prison, and he and Deborah reunite. And the movie ends here.